Morning there, you're watching QTV This Morning, and I am your host, Jenna Basonko. Thank you so much for joining us. So today, Ibrahim Abalde is not sitting next to me just yet, but he'll be joining us shortly in the program. I already miss him, the fact that I'm not starting the show with him, but he'll be here in moments. But I'm here with Mr. Ka, Malik Ka. So today, let's just pretend you're Ibrahim, or you don't want to get in his shoes. No, which is which?
I want to be me.
You want to be you?
Yeah.
We were just having a conversation about how you missed your herbal tea this morning.
Oh yeah, you know, that's routine for me. Every morning I usually have to have my herbal tea, which, you know, pricks and awakens my brain. So lack of the herbal tea today can possibly make me very dull and not active. But I'll do my best.
How did the herbal tea even come about? How did you discover
I don't know.
To say I have to mix this one and it makes sense?
I don't know. I just use lemongrass and some mungume and all that, and the flavor comes out nice. So then I get addicted to it. Every morning I just have it, and it's a good start.
Yeah, the lemongrass. So
I recommend it to people.
You've recommended it to me.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give it a try and see if it works for me.
Please do.
Yes. So we have Mamadou Lamin Choi on the line. So Mamadou Lamin Choi is currently in Upper River region in Basse on the Meet the People tour. So Choi, good morning. Yeah, so we're just aware that Choi is just getting ready to update us in the happenings when it comes to what is happening in Basse in the Upper River region. So Mamadou Lamin Choi will be joining us shortly. But the team is doing amazingly well down there, and we look forward to what the conversations or the the specific team is going to be at the Upper River region. So Mr. Ka, we have an African proverb here, so we'll just delve into that, and it says, "He who does not cultivate his field will not die of hunger."
I think it's self-explanatory.
Yeah, he who does not cultivate his field.
If you don't put in any effort, you don't get any results.
Yes.
So, I mean, if you don't cultivate your field, when you will not have any food. So this is like very clear-cut. It's very self-explanatory. It means you have to really put in hard work in order to get the dividend. Yeah. You know, without the hard work, you will not get the dividend. So a lazy person should not expect any harvest. When it is harvest time, it is the people that put in the work, that plow the fields, that grow the crops, that would realize. Yeah. Yeah.
But even if you don't even go hungry, you will not get what you want. Most of the time, if you do not, cultivate your own field, you might have something, it can be done by another person, but you will not actually get what you deserve as a person. I think this proverb really just relates to what the president said yesterday during the Meet the People tour about the fact that, they're trying to bring in as much development projects as they can to ensure that we do not depend on foreign aid. So then it comes back to what you're saying as a country, the fact that we just have to stand alone at some point to avoid depending on other countries for foreign aid, which has been happening for all these decades.
Yeah, helping yourself is important, and no country can be an island.
Sure.
You must have
Agreed.
bilateral and multilateral relations, and countries also are endowed with different natural resources. True. Some are richer than the others. So the interdependency will never cease to exist. Yes. We will interdepend, and that is a fact of life. Yeah. But in any case, it is also good to work towards self-reliance, in which you have to put in the effort to realize that you can look after and take care of your needs without depending on other nations and other people.
Like you said, I'm okay with the interdependency, but not the dependence, because the interdependency that you mentioned has to do with, Gambia has to offer this, or China has to offer this, like that kind of win-win situation where each country knows they cannot live with the other, but the moment then one is up there, they can always leverage on those things to maybe even exploit you as a country. So I think that's the direction that he's speaking on.
Yeah, I think every country definitely would like to be self-reliant in terms of food, in terms of resources, in terms of provision of services and everything. But what I'm saying is there is a limitation to what you can do, because the resources are limited. So in that type of atmosphere, you would have partners that would support in areas where you are not strong. But the ultimate aim is to be able to fish and not to be dependent on being given fish. Because if you are being given fish every time, the person that provides you with the fish, if it's not there, then you will starve. But if you learn how to fish, Even if the person is not there to give you fish, you will be able to go and do your own fishing and provide for yourself. Yeah. So that is the essence of this proverb, that you have to put in the effort and then realize the end product, the gains.
Yeah. So I think that is clear. Like you said, the proverb is very direct. So we'll just go for a short break, and when we come back, we will take a look at the newspapers. And aside from the newspapers, like I said in the beginning, we will also be connecting to Mamadou Lamin Choi, who's currently in the Upper River region, Basse, to update us about the happenings there. And also, we will have a call with Dr. Ja, who will also talk to us about prostate cancer, which is very, very prevalent in the Gambia now. And also, the police will contact the Gambia Police Force on this driver's license issue. And then finally, we'll have a segment on fashion tips. I'm particularly looking forward to that. So we'll just go for a short break. And when we come back, we'll head right on to the newspapers. Don't go anywhere.
I'm fixated there. What's going on? I keep talking then.
Yeah, so, okay.
There's nothing happening.
Oh, okay. So, Mr. Carr, so should we head right on to the newspapers then? I think, should we head right on to the newspapers now?
I assume they're still trying to contact Mr. Choi.
Yeah, we were just supposed to go for a short break, but I guess they're trying to put things together. Okay, we apologize for that. We apologize for that brief interruption there. Apologies. Mr. Ka, I think you were just there, but you looked good.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we apologize for that. I'm aware that Mamadou Lamin Choi is on the line now. Choi, can you hear me?
Good morning, Janaba. Good morning. This morning.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to be back with you on this program.
Yes, Choi, can you just now give us an update on the discussions at the Upper River region, Basse?
Thank you, Geneva. No meeting has been conducted yet in the Upper River region. We had a meeting at Kuntawur and also Kawur. You know, these are two places that we've had our meetings after meetings were completed in the North Bank region. So we had two meetings in the Lower River region. Now we are in the Upper River region. So no meeting has been conducted here yet. But discussions has been centered on national development, including areas of, road construction, agriculture, and so certain social services. Of course, there have been some development projects that government has been implementing, and that is why we've seen His Excellency President Adama Barrow going around and visiting project sites. Several roads are being constructed right now, and also when it comes to the agricultural sector, water drinking point to allow animals access to drinking points. Of course, yesterday we were talking with the Minister of Agriculture, and he highlighted developments in that regard. And yesterday we saw something like that in a community around the Kaur area, where the president had the opportunity to see firsthand a development that has been done there, which is going to change the lives of farmers there, cattle rearers, because before they didn't used to have water drinking point. So their animals will struggle so much in order to access water. And this affects agricultural development, animal husbandry, and all sorts of things. So that has been done. But we also had the communities talking about how much government has supported them when it comes to subsidies for fertilizer, providing them free access to seeds and other farming implements, which has also eased their work. But they're also tasking the government to do more, because there are more to be done in order to improve their lives, in order to improve the agricultural sector of this country. And government is aware of that. And that is why the president has been telling people about the development agenda of his government in order to transform the agricultural sector of this country. And key among them is ensuring that there is food self-sufficiency for the country, especially on rice production. So the President has highlighted, his government's plan, but also, the intention to work with the private sector. And he referenced the initiative by the Q Group, a project that is geared towards ensuring that, the country is rice self-sufficient. The government alone cannot do it, and that is why the plan is to work with the private sector in order to get us there. And one of the key highlights of the President's remarks also is that people must be ready to pay tax, because we're seeing some developments across the country, but these developments cannot happen when people are not paying tax.
Right.
So we will engage an official here who will also try and break down the implication of that, because we've seen reports around, and it is important to give context to that policy pronouncement by the President when it comes to ensuring that we expand the tax base of the economy in order to roll out development projects across the country.
Troy, thank you so much.
So these are some of the brief points from the President when it comes to national development.
For that quick update. So to make sure that we save time, I'll just allow you to go and fix that interview that you were talking about, and then we'll just head right onto the newspaper review, and then we'll just allow you to go and schedule that. But where are you right now? Is it a hotel?
I'm just going to ask the venue.
It's in Basse.
It looks, it's in Basse, but it looks really good. Is this a new?
I am. It looks very good. It's a new infrastructure owned by a local, company, and this is good. These are developments that we need in the rural parts of the country.
What is it? Is it a hotel?
Basse is a town where we spend so much time when it comes to the presidential tour. So having facilities like this, in fact, my guest, is here. So it's a beautiful place. Don't think that we're in the Combos. We're still in rural parts of the country.
Yeah. So as long as you have your guests for the interview already, so we can head right on to that. Is that convenient?
Yes, sure.
Cool.
Yes, so you can just usher
Who is
him.
your guest?
He's very about to tell us.
Yes, thank you very much, viewers. And I'm joined by an official, from the government, of course, working under the Ministry of Public Service. I'll allow him to introduce himself, and then we'll head on to the interview.
Thank you, Mr. Fai, and good morning, Jenaba. And unfortunately, I cannot see your colleagues at the audio.
You can look at them there.
But my name is Ali Ulum. I'm the Permanent Secretary in charge of Strategic Policy and Delivery at the Ministry of Public Service.
Thank you. I want you to tell me, what is the role of that ministry in this tour? What will it be doing?
I think the name of the ministry speaks for itself. The ministry is in charge of public service, administrative reforms, policy coordination, and delivery. So the ministry in May 2022, the president decided to create a new ministry and appointed a minister in charge of public service. So the then Personnel Management Office that was under the Office of the President and the Department of Strategic Policy and Delivery, which I am the current head, decided to merge them to form the Ministry of Public Service. So basically the creation of the Ministry of Public Service did not create any new entities, but rather is a merger of departments that were under the Office of the President. So that's why you see our work still now is very much close to the Office of the President, because we are now in charge of oversight monitoring. We do the oversight function on behalf of the President and then report back to the President's office.
So during the tour, of course, community residents will have the chance to dialogue with the President. Also, the President will have the opportunity to respond. When the community speak and the President respond, what do you do?
As you said, when the President go out to meet the people, the main objective is to hear first-hand information from the communities. And as such, the statements that are made by the president and the ministers are policy statements. So therefore, we as the secretariat in charge of the reporting to government, we normally take note of every promise that the communities are promised, and every request that the community requests from the government, we take note of it. Whether government has decided to respond to it or not, we will take note of it, because it helps in terms of bottom-up planning, bottom-up development. We get information from the sectors, and sectors also get information from the communities, and that will help you as a sector to understand the priority need of the community. Instead of you sitting at your office thinking that this is what the community needs, sometimes a community might be faced with different challenges: water, access to water, electricity, farm implements, fertilizer, and so forth. But if you talk to them, they may tell you right now, our immediate priority is water. So therefore, it will be incumbent on you as an implement agency to work on delivering what the community needs. So the government is trying to engage the citizens to understand what the citizens need and respond to the needs of the citizens, instead of determining what the community needs, bring in those things. That's why we don't have sometimes sustainability in some of our projects and programs. And I think the tour gives us an opportunity to take stock of the progress that is made in the ongoing projects, and the president will also appreciate some of the things that other sectors are doing that have been reported to him on paper. He will be able to see them. As we move, you yourself see some of the projects, how they are moving. So there is no need to ask too many questions. A road that you used last year and today you come there, it was very difficult last year, but this year it was, for example, when we went to Jimbala, you could see it was not a meeting venue, but because the development that has come to their doorstep, people appreciate it. So, and I think these are some of the things that we do during the tour. We maximize. If you look at this year, we maximize the number of site visits. Yesterday we had nearly 7 site visits and 2 meetings, because the site visit is what gives us an understanding on ongoing projects and completed projects. We inaugurated almost 2 water sites. So basically that is it, what we do in the tour.
So, yes, during the site visits, I had the opportunity to interview the president. In addition to the statements he has made during these meetings, he highlighted the importance. He told me, you've seen the developments that is happening. All these things are happening, and government is funding, and also working with its partners. But what is sustainable is that people pay tax, because it is this tax that we can use to build this country. I understand that, tax will be doubled in order to ensure that at least, the infrastructure projects of this country will also be expanded to different parts of the country. What is the implication of that? What does that mean?
I think first, let's correct this statement. It's not tax will be doubled.
Exactly.
What the president said was the non-tax revenue that government is collecting. If you look at it today, an example that he gave was, for you pay $25 to access a medical doctor, to get medicine and so forth. $25. So that is a non-tax revenue that you are paying as a citizen of the country. So the president is saying we are going to look into those non-tax revenue. At least, for example, if you were to increase that to $50, it's something that not every day you go and pay. It's only when you are sick, you go to the hospital, you pay it. The other one that we pay is like when you want to authenticate your documents. You go to Foreign Affairs. Currently, you don't pay anything. So the president is saying maybe we add a little amount there, and then it will increase government revenue. Character certificate at the police, you normally do it. Anybody who is going for studies or you're going outside, you are required to do it, but not every day. So these are non-tax revenue that you don't basically need to be paying every day or every year. It's only when you need them. Even the civil servants, when you are allocated a land that may be valued at 1 million, you may only pay $3,000. So the president is saying now I may increase that to $6,000 or to $10,000. So those are the revenues, but not necessarily increasing the tax. And I think that need to be very clear. The president did not say he's going to increase the tax. He said he's going to maximize the collection of non-tax revenue. Yeah. So that is what is it. And I think the implication of that would be we will have more revenue to undertake our development projects without relying on on taking loans or looking for grants from our development partners.
Yeah. I think it's important that clarification is made. The way you've qualified it, the way you've explained it, at least will give context. But we've had messages regarding the government expanding, the tax base of the economy increasing and all of that, and that's why we had you here, to clarify on on that, because you guys are at the level of the policy formulation and all of that. Yeah. So my colleagues there in the studio, Geneva and the team, if you have any questions to share with him, he's right here listening.
Yeah, Mr. Ade, because we have, I guess, few minutes.
Okay, if we have a few minutes, a very quick one, and I hope you can hear me. The ministry is called the Ministry of Public Service, which means obviously you give service to the public. If I'm a member of the public, one of the things I would definitely complain about is the poor service I would get from almost every ministry. I cannot go on any ministry website and get updated information. Is your ministry doing something about that?
Thank you very much. We are definitely doing something about that. We have initiated something with the Ministry of Digital Economy, where the Ministry of Digital Economy is leading a process where we'll have one MyGov, where you can access basically all government services. And at the level of the ministry also, we understand the poor. We are citizens. So we have already initiated what we call service process simplification. What we do in that service process simplification, we look at a particular service. I will give an example, ID card. If I'm to apply for an ID card, we've engaged the sector that is in charge of ID card. What are the steps and the documentation that are required from the citizens, and the steps that are required to be taken by the officials? We take stock of all those things, because some of these steps might not be necessary. For example, I will give this as an example. When you make your payment at EcoBank in Serekunda, you have your barcode. You come to the center, they tell you, okay, you need to, it's not scanning, the barcode is not, you have to go back to Serekunda. And when you could have just gone back to Banjul, but you will have to go back to the parent. Those are issues that we are trying to remove as bottleneck from the. We are not trying to change anything that is established by an act of parliament or whatever, but those processes that we think they are more of a bureaucracy, we are going to come out, and this is something that the ministry is currently working on with the Ministry of Digital Economy. We understand the frustration that people face in acquiring like ID card, passport, birth certificate, and so on. There are so many of them, but definitely the ministry is working on having that service process simplification.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much for that update, Mr. Low.
You heard him, Mr. Derame?
Yeah.
I heard him loud
general
and clear.
concern of many of us when it comes to accessing our government ministries digitally. But something is being done. Yeah. And I thank all of you there in the studio.
Thank you.
I hope to join you next week.
Yeah, but thank you so much, Mamadou Lamin Choi. That is actually Mr. Ade's biggest advocate. Like, it's that area he gets to advocate for, like, every single time, because obviously as we write stories, we need information. that is going to back our stories up when we are not sure about something. So I think that was a really, really good question. And Mr. Lum, thank you so much. You know, I went with Mr. Lum to Indonesia. We went to Indonesia for the global platform together, you know, but hi. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
And thank you for the response.
All right, bye. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye. Mr. Ade, good question.
Yeah, and if I can just expand on one of the reasons why I asked the question.
Yeah.
You know, he says there that the Ministry of Digital Economy will be working on this. I think we need to know, do they have a timetable by which they wish to accomplish it? And you don't have to take my word for it. Anybody can go online now. I think there are only 2 ministries.
It's a challenge.
I won't name them because that will embarrass all the others.
Yeah, but we should actually give them their flowers, don't you think so?
Yeah, well, Ministry of Justice are one of the ones that are good.
And also higher education, research, science and technology.
For the rest of them, you go on and it says latest news and you click and it takes you to June 2019, June 2020. That's unacceptable. But the reason I mention this is because if we have a Ministry of Public Service, they have to set certain guidelines for all the ministries. So if I give you my details because I want a particular document, I should be able to go on your website and you tell me if
eligibility.
you give eligibility and also the timetable by which I should get it back. And the reason I mention this with some pain is that we have a colleague here in the office who's applied for a passport, and by the end of this week, it will be 4 months since she applied for her passport.
What?
So you know who I'm talking about. Look, this is unacceptable.
That's a lot of time.
Ministries need to be able to tell people there's a reason why you're delayed. But you don't know. It's like some mystery, like some black hole. It's totally unacceptable, and I don't know why we stand for it, and we shouldn't.
It's sad.
You know, so you know, if we have a Ministry of Public Service, these are the things that we need to either complain to them, or they need to set standard for every single ministry of how they deal with the public.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, this is something I feel very, very
digital
passionate
economy. I mean, we are waiting to see action.
They've got a big task ahead because, like I said, don't take my word for it. Go online, check any ministry, and see how up to date their websites are.
You don't even need to go to a website, just go to their social media handles and you will not be impressed.
Well, in fact, some of them actually keep their social media, their Twitter and their Facebook more up to date than they do their websites.
Yes,
it's like the websites that they're just for fun.
Yeah, they're
totally irrelevant. So honestly, we need to address this if we're serious because as a citizen, that is where I should get my information from the ministry. I don't have to turn up at your doorstep. I should, in this day and age, I need to just go on your website and all the information I want from you about you as a ministry should be there, not 3 years or 4 years information. So let's get our act together and let's get serious about this.
Yeah, so we'll just go for a short break, and when we come back, I'll be finally joined by my amazing co-hosts, Ibrahim Abalde. You see, I was so sad.
He lost his way. Apparently.
Yeah, I was so sad that, you know, he's not with me and all of that. So now I'm happy that he's about to join me.
Well, you know, frequently when people are meant to come here, they say, oh, I lost my way. I got to Q City because I thought that's where you were. So perhaps that happened to him today.
Yeah, maybe he went all the way to Q City. We'll find out after the break. Stay with us.
QCell mooy suñu boss. QCell mooy suñu boss. QCell mooy suñu boss. Soro. Go. Ebe dawa full network suuta tili. QCell. Ni lafta diamla wati jamala mune diata. QCell. Most reliable network jumala keta wati. QCell. Wo quality man nyon soto jam pona manke QCell. Hani be wuloni farole kono walante be bakono jala fayola network ko se taria. QCell suñu boss. Ño fi njeka indi 3G ñu delu taxi 4G plus and now we bring you 5G. 5G. First and only 5G provider. Itella follow adi doron nesa keno. Gambia bela nyon tawa fele QCell. Ko fasunta buka busi QCell. Itella molti milka kukutol nati Gambia. QCell meta lori la kilianol yele imanjina amanda wala itella ka quality dila dadi ma itelle silo wala wodol mume be keno ma. QCell sunyu boss. QCell sunyu boss. QCell sunyu boss. QCell sunyu boss. Connection be bambandi QCell sunyu boss. QCell most innovative QCell sunyu boss.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. Ibrahima, you owe us an explanation. Where were you?
He owes the nation.
The nation. You owe the world.
Absolutely.
Where were you?
Yes, my apology. I mean, I didn't get here on time. I mean, the reason is the traffic, the heavy traffic that everybody is crying.
But what time did you wake up?
But you know why?
I left my home as early as 7:15. Can you imagine?
Wow, that's hard.
Quarter to 7.
Wow,
You understand?
that's hard.
You know, the other time I mentioned Buva Zone Cow Junction.
Yes.
I mean, that's definitely a distance. It's not a very long distance, but it's causing us a lot of problems.
There were no cows at Cow Junction, I hope.
No, there was no
on the
cow.
road.
And you know what? How did that come about? Cow Junction.
These places get named.
Gambia
There was an old man who had a shop at that junction. His name is Cow. You know, Fuller called Uncle Cow.
Yes.
Cow.
So people call him Cow.
So that's how Cow Junction.
That's how it came. I mean,
Like they have the place called Mohammed Jah Junction.
Yeah.
The junction is named after Cow, that old man.
That old man.
You know, there's one area I can't still accept. Traffic lights? I can't accept it still.
You mean being called traffic
Yes,
light?
I just can't.
Because it was the first.
I know, but it's just,
In
it's
this
too weird. Like traffic lights.
traffic light. But you have that.
Like, it's too weird, guys.
In Sierra Leone, we have a place called Up Gun. And the reason it's called Up Gun is because there's an old British cannon pointing up towards the sky.
Yeah.
And so up to now, they call that place Up
Do you know
Up
how the
Gun.
name Tabokoto came about?
No, please
There was
tell
a
us.
big taba tree, you know, just around the roundabout.
Yes.
It's called a taba tree. I
Okay.
don't know if you know taba or what.
don't know
Yeah.
When we were kids, we used to go to the bush and
Yeah.
pluck these taba
Yes.
Okay.
fruits
Oh,
and
the-
things.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So there was a big taba tree. So when you take a car from Westfield, you know, if you get to the place where you're supposed to alight, you'll tell the driver, give me Tabokoto.
Okay. Especially as you guys don't
Oh,
have
wow.
you don't
Wow.
have addresses, so you can't take me to so and so street.
Yeah, for Lamin, Lamin.
Lamin.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
called Lamin.
Oh, wow.
L-A-M-I-N.
It's crazy how they
Yeah.
came about,
It's,
you
it's
know.
more of those people that settled there early,
Yeah.
according to what I heard.
But you know, when you were talking about why you were late, I was not just smiling, I was laughing. This morning on my way to work, a guy overtook me, and he must have been going at 100
He doesn't
kilometers.
want to be late.
No, but you know what my joke was? I said, I bet you he'll still be late. This is Gambia.
It's
People
Gambia.
are late for everything. We turned up yesterday for a Ministry of Interior event. The press were waiting, including us. All the media were there. And they told us, sorry, it's not going ahead.
Oh, wow.
They could have told us before we left our places.
Yeah.
They waited till everybody was seated
Yeah.
and said, sorry, it's cancelled until Friday.
Yeah, that's...
Communication.
I'm
is
sure.
a-
Me,
is
I
a
know my
problem.
Mr. Adeo. I know Friday he will not go.
How did you guess?
Me,
Communication.
I know
How
you.
did you guess?
I know
Communication
Mr. I
is-
know
is a
Friday.
problem.
You know me too
I
well.
know you too well.
My people, have you realized something on this program?
You're the only one with coffee.
I have changed my mug.
Oh,
Now,
5G.
now I am not good. I am not this morning in. I am Q selling.
You are Q selling.
representing
5G.
QCell.
I belongs to QCell.
I
You
hope,
know.
I hope they're
mean,
paying you to advertise for them on this program.
Well,
Yeah.
at QCell, I used to be the senior marketing officer for
But you're
QCell.
not
He
so,
keeps
anymore.
on
You're not
reminding
anymore.
so I mean, if I advertise for QCell, it's part of my genes.
But it's not
anyway,
part of your job.
Let's move on. Let's move on. So on the Point newspaper,
Yeah.
this is a word that Mr. Ade hates a lot. So I'm even scared
So-
to I'm scared to read this.
No,
so
no, read it.
the cry.
I don't know.
Oh my
How did
God.
you
I didn't read it.
It says
But I knew
Gambians.
it is
You know
the
what?
It says Gambians decry unfair treatment at Senegalese
You know
border.
what? You know what?
I saw it.
Just yesterday,
Yeah.
somebody circulates every day the Sierra Leone newspapers.
Yeah, and you saw the cry.
And he said, opposition MPs decry the latest budget. I thought,
you're like,
why do
no.
people use this nonsense word? They love it. Maybe,
They love it.
maybe the owner of the word decry pays them to use it, because I don't know.
Yeah.
They use it all the time. But
Yeah.
Anyway.
So for me,
What do they
Gambians decry unfair treatment at Senegalese borders. We've had this conversation before.
Too many times.
You know, the
Too many
ECOWAS
times.
protocol is there. Even aside from the ECOWAS protocol, Gambia and Senegal borders.
Well, this is it. And you know, every time we have these meetings between our governments,
And
they
just
come up with all
recently,
these. They come up with all these fancy statements
Yeah.
about, you know, we're going to relax. The reality is, it is not
never
happening.
happens.
It is not happening. It's a joke. And you know, the next time our presidents get together and I hear that statement, I'm telling you, I'm going to get very angry, because the reality that people are facing on a daily basis just does not hold true
The
to
last
these
time I went-
we're brothers, we're this, we're that.
Yeah.
Let's stop it.
The last time I
Yeah.
traveled to Dakar, I mean, I think
Yeah, so,
I've
yeah.
spent almost $2,000
Have a go.
on the road on bribes, bribing police officers,
That's very
Senegalese
sad.
police officers. You know,
That's
and
how
I
they
got
are.
all
I
my
went through the
documents.
same thing
I
too.
got all my documents. My car is intact. You know, but I have to bribe them. When I calculated that money, it's almost $2,000.
That's a lot.
And
That's
I
a
can
lot.
tell the people.
But which car did you take to Senegal, though?
Well, that was like
You're Mr. Bean?
2-3 years ago.
Mr. Bean can't get to Senegal.
Maybe I am riding
I thought it was the
I am driving a Golf
I
G-Wagon,
thought
baby.
it was the.
I'm-
But anyway,
you
all
forgot?
jokes aside, let's move on. Like I mentioned in the introduction, we will have a phone call with Dr. Ja focusing on prostate cancer. So luckily, he's already on the line with us to discuss this very, very, very important topic. Dr. Ja, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Fine, thank you. We are so happy that you're joining us out of your busy schedule. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you, Lolly. Thank you.
So it's Jainaba.
Oh, it's Jennifer. I thought it was Lolly. You have the same voice.
Oh, we do? Oh, nice. That's great. Yes, so the issue of prostate cancer, first of all, there's a lot of, argument or discussions that is it's getting prevalent in the Gambia. Is that so, first of all? We need to confirm that, the numbers as to is it really, really prevalent in the Gambia currently? And then if that is the case, what are some of the leading factors?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very difficult to say whether it is becoming more prevalent or not because we don't have the numbers.
Okay.
But one thing I can say for certain is that we are discovering it more now because more people are coming out to be tested. So we are getting more cases now. It doesn't mean that before there were not more cases. There were cases, but they were not being diagnosed. As long as you're a man, you can get prostate cancer. Women don't get prostate cancer because they don't have prostate.
Yeah.
But all men can get prostate cancer. And the older we grow, the more likely we will get prostate cancer.
Why do older men grow?
We don't know.
We don't know too.
We don't know. There are lots of theories that say why older men have, but still it is in a stage of theories. People are theorizing on it. But we know for certain that the older we grow, the more likely we'll get prostate cancer. In fact, I can tell you that we know in numbers that by the time a man is 80 years, there is probably 7 to 8 in 10 chance of them getting prostate cancer. So 70 to 80% of men about 80 would have prostate cancer.
Wow.
Dr. Ja, you've raised both on HealthLink and we've seen in the media about that there needs to be awareness of this. Could you just tell us and the viewers what are some of the signs and symptoms that people need to be looking for to think, oh, maybe I need to go and get checked, I need to go and get tested? What should they be looking for?
This is also a very scary area of prostate cancer, which is that prostate cancer in the initial phases has no symptoms.
Oh.
Yeah.
And because it's a hidden organ, and cancer usually starts painless, you don't have any symptoms at all.
Yeah.
And that brings in the issue about wellness clinics and brings in the issue about screening. If you don't look for it, the likelihood is that you will not see it until it is too late.
Yeah.
So you have to look for it. It's not that it shows itself.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm happy that Dr. Ja kept on saying it's scary, it's scary, it's scary, because it's scary.
Definitely. Doctor, you mentioned something very significant here. You have to look for it. you know, because it doesn't manifest its
Yeah.
signs.
You go and
So
get tested.
how do
Yeah.
you look for
You
it?
go and get tested.
Yes.
Where the screening comes in.
That's a very good question, and I think how do you look for it is by being aware about prostate cancer. Many people didn't know anything about prostate cancer. I usually give a very pertinent example, which is that when I was practicing in the UK, every week I am involved in a surgery to cure prostate cancer. About twice every week, I do operations to cure prostate cancer. When I came back to the Gambia from 2009 till 2022, I did only 2 surgeries to cure prostate cancer.
Wow.
But every day, I see somebody with prostate cancer. The problem is that all those people I see every day, they are at a stage when it is too late to do an operation. So you can imagine the numbers. That means that we are not coming out early. So to come back to Ade's question, how do we look for it? The first thing we should know is that young people normally do not get prostate cancer. Usually people start looking for prostate cancer from the age of 50. But for some reason in the Gambia, I am personally advising people that even from the age of 45, you have to start looking for it. But let us say from the age of 50. How do you look for it? You've lived for 50 years without any problem. So just going once to your doctor and saying that, look, I'm a man, I am 50 years, I want to check my prostate. So what the doctor will do will ask you some questions. The doctor will examine your prostate. It's a bit of an uncomfortable examination, but it's a necessary examination to palpate, to feel your prostate, to see whether they can see any obvious lumps there that can indicate a cancer. And then they'll do a blood test for you. And the blood test, unfortunately, is a bit expensive in Gambian terms, but you do the blood test, it can give you an indication whether there is a suspicion of prostate cancer or not. And then you go on, if there is a suspicion, you go on to do something called a biopsy. And in some countries in the world, especially in the Scandinavian countries and some states in the United States, every man from the age of 50, you don't even need to go to the hospital. They'll call you at home and say, well, happy birthday, you're 50 years old now, but you need to come to the hospital and do a blood test for your prostate. And they do it for everybody. So it is a general screening. Some countries cannot afford that, but in the Scandinavian countries and some states in America, that is a routine for every man beyond the age of 50.
Yeah. Personally, I think there's not a lot of noise when it comes to prostate cancer in the Gambia. I don't know why that is, but you know, like I do not see organized associations probably advocating, like for example with cervical cancer, there's a lot of advocacy around it. But for prostate cancer, I don't know why that is, but there's not a lot of noise surrounding it in the Gambia to raise awareness.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to sound a bit sexist, but it's because it affects men.
No, it's not that. Well, we can advocate.
But men should advocate.
I'm just joking. But what I want to say is that I have tried in some of my programs, I've mentioned it, that if there is some group, the best people to advocate for it is the people who have either suffered from it or people who have had a relative who obviously suffered from prostate cancer or died from prostate cancer, to form an organization, to raise awareness, to help people do some screening. But yes, it is overdue for us to have an association, voluntary association, which raises awareness about prostate cancer. I agree with you, totally. Maybe through your program, some people will get interested, and any group that is interested and gets in touch with me, I will be very happy to help them and to be part of it.
Great.
Yeah, so for prostate cancer, when it affects an individual at a stage where it's not in the advanced stage yet, and then you do the operation, it does not affect anything, maybe, cause...
Yes, it is curable. But the problem is that, yes, there are possible side effects of the operation.
Okay.
But then, you are fully cured from it. So possible side effects, like any other surgery, there will be possible side effects. One of the side effects is what we call incontinence, which is that they may not be able to control their urination as much as they were controlling it before. So they may leak urine. Another complication is that probably you will not be able to have children again. But at the age of 50, 60, that doesn't become much of an issue anymore.
But you can be sexually active.
For most people. There might be some affectation of your sexual function, but that is something that is treatable.
Okay. All right. But thank you so much, Dr. Jah, for giving us this update on prostate cancer.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much thank you for having me.
Yeah, and like you said, we hope that individuals will take it up from here to form associations and volunteer to raise awareness about it. We really need a lot of noise surrounding prostate cancer.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Jah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes, so
yeah,
it's a very scary one.
It's a scary one, and my own interest in it is I'm a member of a cancer charity that works in Sierra Leone. And as you rightly say, frequently when we do cancer awareness things, the majority of people who turn up are women. And so cervical cancer, breast cancer, those sorts of things get a lot of coverage, both in terms of people who turn up and, of course, in media attention. A lot of these meetings, I beg your pardon, men don't turn up. And so what you get is you have these meetings, and people will eventually ask the question, is your cancer charity only interested in women?
Yeah.
And it's not the case. Men seem scared, embarrassed, whatever the case is. Don't let embarrassment kill you.
That's the thing.
Go
I'm
and
not
get
cutting
tested.
you short, but today, if there was a prostate cancer screening, I'm 100% sure if there's a post-prostate cancer here and then cervical cancer screening, the line for the women will be 10 times. And then here you just see 2 people, because doctor mentioned how uncomfortable probably. But then for the cervical cancer as well, it's uncomfortable because it has to do with the scraping of the cervix.
Well, this is it.
But it's about how men are told you can't cry, you can't be vulnerable.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
Well, when you look at the nature in, how we live, I think women are more concerned, are more active going to checkups than men. If you look at the percentage, if you know, because when you look at the hospitals in general, if you visit the hospitals, the number of women that you see and compared to the number of men,
it's different. But Ibrahima, we have the police PRO now on the line, so we'll just shift our attention to that. Thank you so much, Sisao, for joining us on the line. It's been a while catching up on the program.
Yeah, we thought he left the country.
Yes, but he's here, and I think he took a break. He's been really tired, I believe. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I just hope you took a long rest after your exercise, the Operation Clear the Roads, because it looked really tedious.
It's still going on.
It's still going on. There is no rest. Actually.
Yeah.
We've been on it till now. I think currently the team is still at Coastal Road.
Okay.
And personally, I am in Fonyi as I speak to you. Yes, we are with the community policing unit of the Gambia Police Force on sensitization. So I've joined them this week. We are going to schools and communities to talk about security-related matters, actually.
So what is their perception right now, the people in Fonyi? What is their perception about the state of security in the Gambia as you raise awareness?
Yes, I think the concerns are that one of the issues are communications. Yeah, because when they have issues, sometimes it's difficult to know who to communicate to. That is of the fact that we have police stations around, but most of the police stations are far from some of these communities. They are found in towns around Sibano, Biam, and all that. But the communities within Inward find it very difficult. And also when they have issues, because we're talking about gender-based violence, we're talking about child marriage, child's rights, and stuff like that. These are issues that some of them don't know about, because when you talk about child marriage, they wouldn't understand. One of the imam would say, how would I know the age of of a person who is getting married, because if a child or a person is getting married, usually we assume it's of age, so we wouldn't actually ask the age. So it's normal just to go ahead with the marriage ceremony. So I should be culpable for the fact that I don't know ages of those people. So it's like, I think there is a lot of sensitization that is needed. The civil society organizations would also have to support the police in this, because the police alone wouldn't be able to do all of these things.
Yeah, it's a collective responsibility, like you mentioned. But very interesting topic you started. But due to time constraints, we'll be heading right on to take a look at this press release by the Gambia government, taking a look at the Gambia government working towards the resolution of national identification cards and driver licenses situation currently, because this particular contract that the Gambia government and SEMLEX had is put on hold as we speak. So putting this on hold means that currently if I want to go and get my driver's license, I cannot get it. So how is the police going to deal with this situation, considering that it's your responsibility to enforce the issue of drivers having their licenses renewed?
Yes, this is a concern, and I think it's important that for people to understand that the Gambia Police Force acknowledges government's recent press release regarding the temporary suspension of driver's license issuance due to the termination of the contract or the expiration of the contract with SEMLEX. On this note, the public, especially drivers, ought to ensure that they possess driver's license during periods and not to misuse the press release as an excuse for not having a license. So what I mean is that if you have a license and it's expired, you wouldn't go driving without a license saying that I don't have a new one, I cannot renew. Meaning, whenever you are driving, you still need to go along with the old one you have, the one that is expired. And this goes for people because it shows that you are qualified, it shows that you are licensed to drive. So for those ones who do not have license, we assume they are not qualified to drive because they have not been tested and they have not been certificated to drive. So it's important for people to understand that. For individuals with expired license waiting renewal, the police will recognize the validity of this expired license during this period. Yes. However, it is essential to also emphasize that driving a motor vehicle without a valid license remains illegal, and drivers should ensure that whenever they are driving, they should be with their license. If it is expired, you still can show this, and police would understand that during this period there are no renewals. But for those who do not have, should not take this as an advantage that, okay, because they are not renewing and I need a license, I did not get one, so I can take that as an opportunity to actually go driving. So it means that you are driving without a license.
Yeah, but also remember the argument or the discussion that actually came up when it comes to the driver's license when we talked about the 3 years or the 1 year.
I was going to ask
so yes,
this might not be an opportunity to reset.
Exactly.
That the law is quite clear.
Yes.
And if I'm going to be blunt, the police are breaking the law.
Yeah, it says 3
by
years.
saying that my driving license is 1 year and I have to renew it. The law says 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why we ever let it get into the point where it's 1 year and you have to renew. But not only that, when you want to renew, you renew in November and they tell you it expires in December, and you have to renew again in January.
It's very strange.
It's not rocket science to say even if it's 1 year, it should be 1 year from the date that you renew. Not
12 months.
Not just a couple of months or whatever. So is this an opportunity? Perhaps it's an unfair question, but is this an opportunity to reset the clock so that we start basically obeying the law, including asking the police to obey the law?
So maybe you can just give us an update on consultations, because the last time when Omar, the president of the Gambia Transport Union, came, he said consultations are ongoing.
What's happened?
So where are we at this point in time?
Yes, like you mentioned, this is a concern, and I think, to be frank enough, there is that need for us to reset, and I think it's an opportunity for the Gambia government and the police in particular to be able to do things the right way, like you mentioned, and I do understand there are reasons for why it was 1 year. The government set that up, and the police as an institution alone is not in position to make those changes, and I think consultations are, like you said, are ongoing, and I am sure already it's been practiced now that when you renew, for example, in November, you will have to renew again in next year November. So it's not like, okay, you just got a new one now and by December. So that has already been in place. But the issue has been The issue only at the moment is on the 3 year,
3
1
years
year
or
issue.
1 year?
Yeah, and I think we are aware at the level of the police, and we're working with government to ensure that those logistics and everything regarding this is resolved. And hopefully, like you mentioned, this is an opportunity where the government can take advantage of and try to do the right thing.
All right, but thank you so much, PRO, for joining us. We have a lot of questions, but because we have a packed show today, we're just going to let you go. So make sure to enjoy Fonyi as much as you can. What is special about Fonyi? What's it? Is it the dishes? What is it? Pempeng. They have pempeng in Fonyi. Right?
Not only
they have
pempeng,
pempeng.
they have enough fruits.
Yeah, the fruits. Yeah, they have
the
fruits.
kaba.
Yeah, the kaba.
They have the potatoes.
Yes,
they
everything.
have. I mean,
Yeah.
I think Fonyi is a
PRO will be too busy working.
Yeah, PRO, but
You'll be
PRO,
too busy
please,
working.
get the pempeng. I'm sure you had pempeng already.
The one thing I like Fonyi about is cheap.
It's cheap, okay.
We'll all be moving there now that you've said it.
Nice. Make sure to get some pempeng. They're so good at it.
No problem, ma.
All right, thank you so much for joining us.
Enjoy your day. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. So, Mr. Ade, that is all we have time for. So we'll just let you go.
Yes,
but
indeed.
nice shirt, by the way, whatever.
Well,
Your
yeah,
shirt from yesterday was cute, and this one
Thank
too.
you.
What's going on?
It's,
Okay.
Thank you, Hadi Nyang, for
I'm
cute,
dealing with him.
cute shirts.
You're dealing with him.
Yeah.
You bought him the shirt?
Yeah.
And I thought you brought me here to talk about fashion. Anyway.
No, that's not yours. So we're joined by Deoli Tal, who will be giving us fashion tips. So it's not, but you can with the shirts you're wearing these days.
Trust me, nobody's going to take fashion tips from me.
Well, you're doing well. I'm sure she'll be like, Ade, nice shirt. I'm sure she'll be like that. So we'll just go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll head right on to that. Don't go anywhere.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future, tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply. Espas Motors is the largest and most modern auto service in the Gambia. Espas Motors is the only authorized dealer in Chevy, Mercedes-Benz trucks, Mercedes-Benz buses, Kia, Ford, Futon Mini and Midi buses, Futon trucks. At Espas Motors, we have qualified professionals who use modern technology to diagnose and repair all brands of motor vehicles. Espas Motor services include auto sales, auto repairs, vehicle painting, availability of high-quality spare parts, towing services. We are reachable at any time. Call Espas Motors on 352222 353-4444 or locate us on the Bertel Harding Highway. Espas Motors.
Do your banking the smart way with the new Ajibank mobile app. Transfer money to any bank account in the Gambia. Top up airtime for all networks. Pay utility bills. Check your account balance and view mini statements. Request for ATM cards. Request for checkbooks and more in a single touch. So, do your banking in a smart way. Do your banking now with Ajibank mobile app. Every time is banking time. Ajibank, your investment partner.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. So I'm so excited about this one because it has to do with fashion, and we're joined by Deoli Tal to give us all the tips we need and to even start with him because but anyway, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jainaba.
How's your morning?
Very early. I'm not a morning person, so this is very different.
Okay.
But I have my trusted cup of tea. I heard Mr. K talking about his tea. That's how I am crazy with my tea.
Yeah.
I think it has to do with the being a Brit,
Yeah.
part of a British kind of
Yeah.
thing
Oh
going
wow.
on. Yeah.
But do you do what do you do? Coffee, tea, or
I
herbal?
love tea. I
Okay.
take up to 10 cups of tea a day.
Okay.
No,
10?
no. Yeah.
But at least it's healthier than
other
coffee.
than
It's
sugar.
better than
I don't
coffee.
drink coffee. When I drink
And you
coffee,
don't do
I
sugar
shake.
as well?
Yeah.
A little bit, but not much.
Not
I'm
much.
not a sugar person either.
Wow, sugar be mom bobo.
But tea is very important.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But that's quite a lot of tea, yeah?
Yeah. No, but it, at least
I
would
know.
could be very would bahna.
Yeah, maybe the most I would do is 1 teaspoon.
Wow.
But when I'm stressed, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm nervous, whatever I do,
You take tea.
I have tea first.
Okay, good.
That's why I have it here.
So Mr. Ka also has his
Yeah,
herbal.
we have that in
Kita
common.
mitsayum nyewe munyo wako waiki coffee la dena.
Coffee la dena.
Man coffee be mom ramatagal
Yeah,
coffee be
the
man
caffeine is
personally.
good.
Yeah, so to start with, because you're on a morning show, let's start with things to wear in the morning. Like what is the best combination for, a morning run, maybe a school run, or, on a show, or
Yeah.
to the gym, or you name it. Just something morning related.
The question is very loaded, but I'll try as much
Yes.
as I can to
But
explain
let's start with, corporate.
Okay, corporate.
In the morning, preferably.
I think it depends where you work, really.
Yeah.
Because fashion and styling, like I always tell people, is very different. You adjust to your environment. You adjust to the elements. You adjust even geographically sometimes. So, for example, let's take you guys at QTV. You're corporate, but you're kind of casual because your work has to do with everyday life,
Yeah.
lifestyle, politics, education.
Yeah.
So I see that you on your dialogue, you keep it nice and fun, very
Yeah, I need
interactive.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're on the morning show or you're reading the news,
It's-
you're very
yeah.
like straight to the business,
Yes.
straight
Yeah.
to the point,
Yeah.
like Ibrahim as well.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what you're doing. Like I am a mom, I drop my daughter to school every morning. Depends what side of the bed I'm waking up on. Sometimes I wake up, I want to be really glamorous.
Yeah.
She's like, Mommy, why are you wearing all this makeup?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm really tired, I just
Yeah.
put my hair in a bun, but just comfortable and respecting the environment that you drop in a school kid off,
Oh, yeah.
that you have parents and little kids looking at you. And you have to be very conscious about your environment. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's based on most of the time the environment.
Mood and environment, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But does mood really count? Because sometimes based on your mood, you can mess it all up.
Yeah, based on your mood, you can mess it all up, but that's where mood and the environment, this is
Has to
where
come
it has
together.
to come together. You always have to be conscious about the purpose of where you're dressing to and what you are dressing for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So generally, how do you see the fashion industry currently in the Gambia? I see some improvements because I see young people now coming up, they're very talented, trying a lot. I see that.
The fashion atmosphere in Gambia right now is very interesting. Me being a fashion and a beauty expert, I've seen the Gambian fashion metamorphosize over the past 10, 15 years. And every day I'm amazed by the amount of knowledge that Gambians are seeking to understand their style identity, to understand brands. And I'm seeing a lot of fashion designers. I'm seeing a lot of bloggers. I'm seeing a lot of people doing beauty. And it's a very refreshing thing to see. It's a huge departure from where we were many years ago.
Yeah.
When I graduated from fashion school, I came back to Gambia. I didn't know where to look at. I lost a lot of inspiration around that time because I wasn't connecting to what was around because I felt there was nothing around.
Yeah.
Now every day, people are evolving, they're metamorphosizing, they're branding themselves. I think people are finally we're kind of waking up to the rest of the fashion, industry in the bigger market, and it's a good thing to see.
Yeah. So are you looking forward to maybe starting something, they only tell something, because you went to fashion school, obviously, and
Yeah.
at the time you said you didn't see the things
Yeah.
that you wanted to see around
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So now that things are changing, are you looking along those lines?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot actually. For me, I am more of a behind the scenes kind of person.
Okay.
So I help more of people shaping their brand, their
Okay.
identity. I do a lot of fashion consultancy.
Okay.
I also have recently just launched my brand, but I'm not going to talk about it before the Q group
marketing
comes
comes
after me.
after you.
Yeah, but then that will be maybe probably a different topic. But
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of stuff right now that are very impactful actually, and I'm really proud of it.
So looking at our fashion industry, what are some of the things that you think, can be added to make it more fascinating and amazing?
I think adding our heritage and culture. I think that is one part that is very, very missing. Gambians as a country or as people, I think we're really, really, really good at taking from others to the point where it looks like it's ours, and through that we lose our identity and we lose our heritage. I would like to see Gambianism and a Gambianness in fashion and identity, because you'd see someone getting married and For example, everything about the decor to the fashion is very Nigerian. Obviously, we're all Africans, it's Pan-African, and I'm all about the, enjoying and knowing other people's identity and their culture. But the Gambianness, I think we need to brand our fashion so that anywhere in the world, when you see something, you see that's Gambia. Like you will know that's Sierra Leonean or that's Ghanaian, they're Kente. What is Gambia? Because, for example, even the wax we wear, now we call it Ankara. That is not our language, We call it Kente, that's not our language. What is the Gambian fabric?
Yeah, that's a big question.
What's the Gambian fabric? What's Gambianism? What's the Gambian identity? Obviously, it's not what me and you are wearing right now.
No, it's not.
It's not. So what is the Gambian identity?
And we have it.
Of course we do.
Yeah, because Seri Rabal bi tamit.
Yeah.
Dañ ko dee defar fii locally. Seri Rabal bi.
Yeah.
Why recently, maa ngi gis there's this young woman, fashion designer la moom tam. All the clothes that she sells, lu moo munti ñaw rek moom Seri Rabal bi la dee use, mu incorporate ko with other fabrics.
It's really beautiful.
And it turns out really beautiful.
Well, I think the reason why Gambians are not, patronizing their own is, sometimes what happened? People are carried away by what they see outside. Maybe those other countries are promoting
they have their influencers.
The one we have in the Gambia.
Absolutely.
So when we start taking our own, maybe other countries too will start picking from
I would really, really love to see that.
Yeah, because we're in this era of having influencers.
Yeah.
And then these influencers in other countries, Ghana, Nigeria, and other countries, they're paid really well.
Yes.
Influencing in other African countries is a huge business.
It's a huge business.
Yes,
yeah.
not in Gambia.
I
so
know.
these individuals, they are paid so much that they spend all their time influencing me, you, anybody.
Yeah.
So that is there. I think Gambia should also improve on that side, where companies really take individuals to actually represent their brands. Right. We are not there yet, and it's very sad. Danga dem Nigeria, Ghana, Benin deka, ko hamne influencing rek moy liggéeyam. Mom do they liggéey 8 to 5.
I think people don't understand that here. I think they see people that do that kind of stuff as someone who is not doing much, or someone that's just coming after people. Let me advertise this for you.
It's a job.
I remember a few months ago, because this is something that I studied, I'm good at. I approached a person that has a clothing line. Because for me, I don't believe in the Gambian thing where or you hold back. I go after things that I'm interested in. And I reached out to this person and I told him, look, I've seen some interesting pieces about your stuff. Why don't we collaborate and do some adverts and promos for you? And he was like, honestly, I don't need it.
What?
I don't need it.
He said that?
Yeah. And actually the company he has here and the brand that he's selling clothing, right now, as I'm talking to you, in the UK, anywhere in Europe, they're advertising on the subways, on the train stations. They're advertising everywhere. Even Coca-Cola advertises. McDonald's advertises. Even Apple. What's bigger than Apple? The Apple brand, the phones. They advertise every day. Samsung. Why wouldn't you advertise?
Yeah, it's a big question.
It's a very important question.
Yeah, they don't really buy the idea of advertising.
Yeah, it's important. Promotion and advertising. Info commercial is very important.
Yeah, it's very important. Yeah. Like I said, in other countries, they just get paid for that.
Yeah, I know.
They get all the bills and everything just get paid from doing that.
Do I need to wear expensive clothes to look handsome or to look beautiful?
You're talking about quality and value here and taste. I think expenses or being something feeling expensive or luxurious has a lot to start with you. Because you could feel like a very expensive and a high value man and wear the cheapest t-shirt in the world and feel really, really expensive and feel good.
So it's about the feeling?
It's about the feeling and how you see yourself. You are the first investment. Before you invest in the clothing, your image, your personality, your character, that's the first expensive. That should be the first expensive emotional feeling that you go with. Then the clothing, I think, just complements it. And the accessories. But of course, they're expensive outfits, they're luxury outfits.
Man personally, dogo malasane, why it's good ne ki bring topic bi. Because man Gambia, ham right now, ndey uli lara magena na hari. Comme Gucci bag yu nit ñi di téye.
Yeah.
Billahi. Holal, suma bopa bi daf man holal. Daf man comme lu ma gëna na hari ci dëkk bi right now.
It's abused.
Moy lolu. Xam nga lu tax? Because
and the LV.
Lan moy problème bi?
Yeah.
Lan moy problème bi lay laajte parce que yow already li nga mëna afford man tay for example xam naa suma purchasing power fa la tool dama dem si brand si nga xam ne Pull and Bear Zara loolu lay jënd they're nice dama sanse te it's within my budget waaye nga taka baag boo xam ne leer na la nañ ne ku laa xool xam na ne lii du waaye dëkk bi nag lan la nag
Yeah, but that also comes with good marketing and promotion, because what people are looking at is that they're seeing celebrities and influencers holding the Louis Vuitton, the Hermes, holding the Chanel. Original, but hang on, coming there, they can know that they were. So if some people, you could hold it, okay, like you are a public figure, you're on TV.
What?
So if you hold a fake Chanel bag or whatever, people might be like, maybe leave. So people just want to take that chance. You know, who knows? It could be gifted to you. But I think Gucci would be very offended.
They'll be offended. LV.
Yeah, people just buy it. For me as a luxury fashion consultant.
No, honestly.
For me as a luxury fashion consultant and a fashion expert, I've worked with Chanel, I've worked with Gucci in Dublin, I've worked with Hermes. People that buy this stuff, they have a history. They have a heritage. It's like passed on to generations. They come up close and personal with these designers. They know the story of the bags, the Kelly bags. It's not just an item.
Even Birkin, don't nekut anybody more
and the Kelly, you can be,
relationship before what I Birkin.
Yeah. So, but here people just hold a Kelly bag, or you hold the Chanel, wallet on chain, or the YSLs. Yeah.
This is not belts, sir.
Yeah, Gucci belt. It's just affiliation.
No, you do more original.
But he can get away with it.
Mane sol na fi how ma bes bobu bena shad nyung fa binda how ma lan.
No, but he will get away with it.
Something.
Yo ham nga na bobu designer.
You have exquisite taste. You're an expensive, high quality value man. No, you can definitely pull it off.
I'm glad someone is attesting to that.
Look, from an expert point of view, I'm giving you the endorsement.
So just quickly, we can just look at some 1 or 2 pictures that we can just discuss quickly before we leave. Yes, so I guess they're working on the pictures just to have them on the screen.
Okay.
But meanwhile, mandal I issue designer mandal suma yaram bi jelu ko de.
I know, right?
Parce que ñeme yalla baxut.
Yeah.
Yang ko tie comme man suma conscience is clear. I'm not going to be comfortable. Honestly.
Yeah.
I'm a clear conscience when that happens. So we have this professional fits for women.
Yeah. So actually we were going to talk about the power suit, wearing blazers. I'm sure you two people that would be familiar with this, because it has to do with your job day to day, being on the news. But I always say that every man and a woman need to invest in a power suit. It could be a tuxedo, double-breasted. It could be like a 4-button one, waistcoats. These should be style staples in your wardrobe. They go literally with anything and everything. When you look at this picture, you'll see 6 different women looking very, very well put together.
Yeah.
And I think what adds that facade and what adds that pizzazz is the blazer. You can see that this woman knows what she's about.
Yeah.
She knows what she's talking
what
about.
You're wearing.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
So investing in blazers and suits and tuxedos should be a staple in every
I
man
like
and woman.
Blazers.
Yeah, me too.
I like blazers
and
a lot.
Invest in different, that's a gentleman. And the versatile thing about blazers and stuff is that you can wear it in so many different ways.
Sure.
As long as you need to know your colors and your mood and your
He
style.
even has sports
he's really casual. This is a very gentle, manly person. We don't know what's happening at the bottom in terms of shoes, but he looks like he's well put together. And a navy or gray blazers as well. They're really, really good. They work literally everything. And now you have these blazers that are made out of jersey and cotton that are very comfy casual that you could wear for brunch.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for work, depending where you work. I think it will fit in somewhere like this, but you officially cannot wear this.
I even wear my, jeans sometimes with my, blazer, and it looks really nice.
Looks amazing.
But I really love men who, wear a tuxedo. I feel like there's some sort of, thing about them.
Yeah, it's a thing that we're not going to mention. But I know what you're talking about.
There's just a thing on there. But Balde dares not open his shirt like this.
Yeah, but this... I think this is for the fashion risk taker. This is for the man who's a risk taker that loves his color, that loves his body, and wants
this is
something
not
to
one
show
Ibrahim
off.
Abalde who does not have 6 packs.
No, but I don't walk around.
He doesn't have a 6 pack. I don't think he has a 6 pack.
Nobody.
I don't want to see.
People don't expect me to walk around opening my body.
That's what I said. That's what I said. This is for the bold, the person who's a fashion enthusiast. I really love this image. There's a pop of color. There's the stripes. I like stripes, as you can see. I like menswear, and this looks like a gentleman who is very fashionable, and he looks classy, and he looks very expensive. You can see the Rolex watch.
Look at his watch.
Yeah. So a pop of color on a blazer. This is blue, but it's very more electric.
Yeah.
And this stands out nice for gala dinners and just events and cocktails.
Yeah.
I like this look. And pocket handkerchiefs.
Yeah.
I love pocket handkerchiefs. Like men, accessorize yourself. I don't
waaye
like.
xam nga tamit comme dafa depend si culture bi comme ni nga ko waxee.
Yeah.
because fii Gambia dafa xaw a métti si góor yi.
Yeah.
comme yenn solo yi because ñun ñëpp Gambia lañ
That's
dëkk.
true.
te ñun ñëpp ñu ngi si internet bi gis nañ lu nit ñi dee wax.
Yeah.
the moment you want to try these kinds of things the stigma that is attached to it dafa.
But for example, this looks like from a fashion heritage point of
Wow.
view. This is how royals wear. This
waaw
is what Prince
xam nga
Charles
yow
will wear.
xëy na ndey olitaal moom xam na loolu. waaye Gambia
This
fii
is
boo ko.
this is like a quintessential. Perfect English gentleman.
Yeah, it looks good.
It looks like someone from Oxford University.
fii sa tubéy bi
This
su
is very
fitee
nice.
up sa góor comme sa tubéy bi to them it's not supposed to be fitted. He knows what I'm
I know
saying.
what you mean.
It comes with a lot.
But now guys are.
No,
Why
guys are
they
getting away
go
with it
through the
now.
stigma?
No, ñun luñ
Yeah.
believe góor dafa war a góore.
Okay,
Understand?
góore mooy lan.
Waaw góore you have to act like a man.
Naka.
How?
Xam nga maybe.
Wow.
Act like a man or look like a
xam naa
man.
bu nekkee ne comme fashion la we understand xam nga
But fashion is everyday thing.
fashion dafa ànd ak ay solinam ak nooy ñëwee ak yeneen yi okay I'm not denying that it's nice it's beautiful waaye comme ñun concept ak mentality ak di notion
because
buñ
kii
am
du téye
mooy
kalpe góor yi léegi dañ dee téye kalpe.
da nga war a sol bem correct bem jot understand nga jot na waaye dafa am yenn yoo xam ne xam nga ñeneen yi duñ ko mën a sol
I'm gonna put you on the spot and I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask you a very
waaw go ahead
a detail. Do you notice what's on your shirt?
on my
The
shirt?
detail on your shirt, yeah. Your
Well,
white shirt.
I have no idea.
It's flowers, it's floral. What's more feminine than that? She doesn't have floral, I don't have floral.
Wow.
You have flowers on your shirt, but it's made to look, to complement you. The colors are very muted, they're very undertone.
True.
If the flowers were pink, they would think you're feminine.
Wow, they
Yes.
think,
So that's what
wow.
I'm saying,
So here-
color and
yes.
choice
Wow.
counts.
Yes.
But you're wearing a floral t-shirt,
Yeah.
by the way.
Here I am talking
Kii
about
dafa-
the settings of your
Understand
maybe
naa
your
fooy waxee,
trouser
xam naa
ak
fu ma
yooyu xam
waxee.
nga am na ñoo xam ne
dañ
they
koo
like
lii
it tight
waaw.
Yeah.
ñeneen yi like kuñ loolu understand nga so fii the percentage of men in this country ñoom dañoo bàyyi seen tubéy yi bëgguñ ko mu tight understand nga
waaw.
so moo tax ma ne na góore
so fi mu nekk nii. xam naa
Not
time
good, but
moom.
if I met you somewhere right
Wow.
now with the floral shirt, I'd be like, he's a bit saucy, you know?
It's a bit
waaw waaye
bleak.
dafa
Yeah.
dafa depend on si
interesting.
environment bi
It is.
xam nga man du ma
Yeah.
dox ma téye
But it's
kalpe
nice.
like you
kalpe bi
mentioned.
moom doo ko téye.
du ma téye
But
kalpe.
anyway, Ndeye Oli,
Waaw.
what are your final words? Interesting segment here. you know.
I would say that invest in knowing what your style is. Style and fashion, they're very, very different. Invest in knowing what your style is, what you like, what color suits you, know your undertones, and please, guys, don't go with the trends. Be your own trendsetter.
Be your own trendsetter.
Yeah.
So-
Be your own trademark. Have your own unique look.
Waaye xam nga comme sometimes stigma bi moo dee nekk issue bi because sometimes nga sol yeneen oh xoolal xam nga. Comme
Like, I like menswear and women's wear. Most of the time, you will see me in a long sleeve shirt, striped shirt, pinstripe shirt, blazers. I have an androgynous kind of feel. I have that kind of masculine energy as well. My personality is very feminine, but I like strong, structured clothing, very boxy, very male. That doesn't make me anything other than a girl, but that's my signature.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so quickly we can just look at this one picture.
I love this.
Su ko defee waaw.
Wouldn't you say this is powerful?
Yeah, this
the
is
color
nice.
is very feminine.
I
It's
love
very
it.
royal, but her shape as a woman is showing.
Yeah.
It's cinching at the waist,
Yeah.
and she looks very well put together. I
Yeah,
like this a lot.
Yeah, she looks like
The color
it.
is good.
That's beautiful.
And the blue too.
Amazing. And the wide leg pants. We need another segment for fashion.
Yeah,
Like,
I think,
seriously,
yeah.
It's yeah.
Yeah, but thank
Yeah.
you so much Ndeye Oli for
You're
joining
welcome.
us.
It's
Su ko
been
defee
great.
suma maas gi ñu mën a dem xool
nga
newsroom
change sa
bi.
LV bag boo am.
man nag ku ma xam ne du ma taka fake. Man damaa dem si Zara shop jënd suma Zara bagaas.
And Zara is
Xoolal,
good.
it's a good brand te loolu mu xam naa ne man su ma ko solee naa si comfortable foofu la suma poos
Exactly.
am sipa bu ma soo sa Zara la.
Nice.
Waaw ma dem suma Pull and Bear.
River Island.
I have a River Island bag.
Right.
My traveling
And
bag
they're
is a
good.
River Island
They're
bag.
good.
Why am na within my budget? Ma am
And
si suma
I'm going
respect.
to add something just lastly.
Wow.
Some of the companies that work for Chanel,
Wow.
and this is a disclaimer, but
Yeah.
these companies, sometimes they share the same manufacturers.
Dañ dee share this tour la rek brand la.
Yeah.
Waaw amal sa respect bu fi
Waa
sol.
dëgg la,
Nit ki
it's
daal
very important.
man daal I feel like it's so disrespectful Ndeye Oli pour jël Gucci wala lii di ko lii this
You're going to walk around
disrespectful.
town and
As
interview
far-
people and
and
ask them what they
you
feel
make a
about
They should
it.
waaw lii dafa man na
This is a
xoolal
topic.
man bokk na si lu ma
Waaw,
gën a
ñun-
naxari ba pare lu ma si gën a naxari last time ma post ko nit ñi di ma bulli di ma text naan ma waaw bu dee loolu lañ afford ma ne ko 2000 booy jël dem jënd ko Gucci or whatever 2000 boobu di nga ko dem amee sa sanse bu correct. Unbranded.
Of course.
bu nice. nga am si sa respect.
Yeah,
nit ñi nañu waxante dëgg nag dëgg bi lan la.
You're right.
daf ko dee parce que daf ko dee def moo tax.
We're gonna be fashion polices now.
non man neexuma.
no man
personally neexuma.
no xam nga man basically man awma choice fu ma dee jëndee yére.
waaye booy
But you
jënd
know the
brand
brand.
bi. xam nga ne amuloo jënd
man mun naa déglul. man mun naa gis mbuba si fashion shop ma duga ma jënd ko. mun naa dem foko jaay sama gis mbuba ma jënd understand nga so man I don't have a choice man dama mun a dem ma jënd fu nekk
from now on day bàyyi sa xel.
No, as long as it makes you feel good. Look, does it make you feel good?
It makes
so
me
wear
feel
fake.
good.
Right,
when
do
you
it.
wear fake it makes you feel good.
It makes me feel
No,
good.
it's about the feeling.
As far as
They only will encourage kii si lu bon.
Ibrahim, does it make you feel good?
it makes me
It makes you
feel
feel yourself?
100% good.
Yeah, so let's come on, check on it. Check on it here. You're gonna do that then.
But they only mu ngi laa nax de.
No, I'm the expert here.
waaw waaye yaa ngi ko nag.
No.
waaye yow tey if you had to choose for him doo ko jox mu sol fake nag. doo ko jox.
What if he likes
yow
it?
gisuloo ma sax maa ngi sol fake.
warut am na bés boobu t-shirt boo fi sol ñu ngi fa bind xaw ma lan. maa ko gis nii si suma bët bi.
boobu Ami Cissé jox ma ko.
Ami Cissé
Ami
I take it back.
Ami Cissé jox ma t-shirt
Ami
boobu.
Cissé da nga am classe.
non non so léegi mu ngi mel ni design na la sol Ami Cissé moo ma ko jox.
dinaa dem kon suñ paree de olu ñu dem si Ami Cissé find out.
so kon Ami lu ma jox fake la.
de waxuma ko bu ma
Ami is a woman of good taste.
Ami moom du sol fake.
xam naa ne di nga ñëwaat ñu waxtaan about perfume.
waaw
oh yeah.
loolu tam is very significant.
Yeah.
am na yoo xam ne soo ko laalee balaa ngaa génn jeex na.
waaw loolu yëpp ak waaw.
yeah.
so all those things.
waaye boobu I know marketing will come after us because but anyway guys didn't say that how we're going to put it together but Ndeye Oli, it was a really really nice segment.
I loved every moment of this. Is amazing.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
ba pare nga wax kii dégg nag.
dinaa ko koola.
waaw soo paree nga kool ko man ay branded shirt.
waaye suma mbokki Pël la man dama nangu kenn du ko attaque.
doo nangu kenn du ko tooñ. That is all we have time for. So thank you so much Ndeye Oli for joining us. I'm looking forward to another conversation.
Anytime.
Yeah, till we come your way next week with another interesting episode. Bye for now and enjoy your weekend.